Hey there, this is Smokey, and today I'd like to show you a variety of different flying machines to help you build a straight piston bolt above the nether. So here on the Prototech server, I had to build a 7,000 block long piston bolt, and I didn't want to do that all manually. So I asked the Prototech guys if they could help build a semi-AFK flying machine to move these blocks into place for me. And Pingu came up with a machine that does that. So the idea is you'd come along with Ida's straight piston bolt rail curver and get all the rails in the required orientation for your piston bolt. Now with this machine you don't place the rails as you go, but especially with a piston bolt that can be thousands of blocks long, you want to make sure that all the rails are there manually. Otherwise you may have to load a backup or rebuild this machine, or even like rebuild the pistons if you got that far. So just to be safe, I would place them manually. Now just for reference, I put all the different variants of this machine for each direction over here, so you don't have to go back to their video and download their world download. So after you build this machine, here's Pingu's machine, and I had to modify it slightly so it was reliable. But the idea is you'd come along with your pistons in your inventory, and you'd have like shulker boxes if you have like a super long bolt, which I had to do, and you'd put one stack in your hand and one in your offhand, and you'd get in the mine cart and you'd hold down right click like so and go along until your pistons run out in your hand, and then you just switch over using your number keys. So it's a lot less work than doing it manually. The nice thing about this machine is that it's basically the same machine you use to build most of the piston bolt. And by the time I was done building the piston bolt on Prototech, I had this machine memorized, so I didn't have to reference it. Now after you have all the pistons placed, you need to place a non-spawnable block above the piston. And in this case I chose carpet because it looks good and you can dupe it, but you can use any non-spawnable block. So I just added a carpet duper on top of here, and to operate this machine you operate it the same way as the other one over here. You get in the minecart and you hold right click, but you need to place it against this trapdoor here. If you don't place it against this trapdoor and you place it against this observer, you can sometimes place carpet next to the piston, and you don't want that. But you can also hold right click against the rail here, and that works just fine. Just don't hold right click against the observer. And this machine will place all the carpets for you. After all the carpet is placed, you need to place a solid block next to the piston. And this machine is the same as the previous two machines. It just has a few extensions on the end to move the prismarine or your solid block into the right position. So to use this, it's the same way as the other ones. You just hold right click against your solid block, and you put one stack in your offhand and you hold the other one in your other hand. Now once all the prismarine is placed, you need to place another non-spawnable block above the solid block you just placed. And this is the same exact machine as the other one, just with one extension removed. And in this case I use sea lanterns, but you can use any non-spawnable block again. And I don't think I need to show you this, but here you go. You just hold right click against the sea lantern or whatever block you're using, and it places them for you. The final thing you need to place for your piston bolt are the repeaters, and this machine is different than the previous machines, but it is extremely small, and it was designed by Pingu, but I had to redesign the back a little bit and change a few things to make it reliable. But the concept with this design is the same as the other ones. You just grab some repeaters and you put one in your offhand and one in your main hand, and you point at the solid block here and you hold right click, and the repeaters will be placed for you. And this machine has been designed to Make sure the only repeaters you placed are placed against the solid blocks. So for example, there's glass here, trap door, iron bar, all sorts of things like that. Now once you're done placing one side, you just rebuild the machine on the other side, just mirror it, and you use it the same way. You just get in the minecart and hold right click against the solid block, and it will place all the repeaters for you. One thing I forgot to mention is that these two trap doors on top of the flying machine that I added are only there to prevent gas from spawning. However, with these other machines, I added no spawn protection for gas, because when you're working on the first two machines, gas can spawn on the pistons, so you should have a mob switch anyway. If you want to build these machines for yourself, I left a world download in the description. Thanks for watching.